There's a sound nearby. At first, I think it's static or a malfunction in the communication device of my spacesuit, but it isn't. There's a shuffling sound, or like the hiss of a snake hiding in plain sight. It's the sound of danger boiling right before exploding in our faces. And then, something hits my back. I turn around hastily, jumping in place.
Gotcha!
But I'm only met with laughter from a friend.
Hey, Gerard, calm down, man. It's okay. We made it here. We're safe.
I stare into the calm blue eyes of Thomas, the captain of the ship that brought us here, a brand new exoplanet to claim for humanity. I nod in acknowledgement of his words and put on a brave smile on my face. The trip here was far from uneventful, and we had to dodge more obstacles than expected. But we finally made it. I'm probably just paranoid after being so tense during the entire trip. This planet is beautiful. It is smaller than Earth, very rocky with strange and sparse vegetation, but an abundance of clear water that came and went from big mountains, caves, and great lakes for as far as we can see. We're supposed to celebrate our success, not jump at the shadows lurking around us. I leave Thomas behind and approach the two other members of our crew. Natasha and Isabel were standing by the American flag we planted on the surface of the planet as soon as we landed. Natasha, the youngest member of the crew, was entertained studying the way the flag floated and quivered, suspended in the unfamiliar air of this planet. She was saying,
Look around you, Liz. This planet is the most worth exploring I've ever seen.
That makes Isabel laugh.
It's the only planet besides Earth that you know.
She reminds the other woman.
I say that we should take the free time to rest inside the ship before we have to start the journey back to Earth. Come on.
Natasha throws her back, laughing wholeheartedly, while Isabel tries to drag her back to the ship, and I laugh along with them. It's a perfect scene. The dreamlike planet, my friends having fun, our ship like a second home waiting for us. And then, the scream. It's bone-chilling, a scream of the deepest terror possible to man. I'm frozen in place, still staring at the two women as they clutch each other tightly and scream horrified. But my entire body has turned to ice. I start shaking before I'm able to move. And then finally, I turn my head, already feeling like I might cry from how scared I am. The scene behind me is the complete opposite of the unbridled joy from just a minute ago. Thomas is still standing right where I left him, but he isn't alone anymore. There's a creature right behind him. A creature bigger than any human being, devoid of hair or scales. Just dark, gray, wrinkled skin like a giant rat? Like a demon of black shiny eyes and open jaws that's holding the captain of our ship with a single limb, as if he was a rag doll. The captain is still screaming. The extraterrestrial notices the three of us watching and opens its jaws even more. For a second, I'm worried that thing is about to eat Thomas in front of our eyes, just to immediately lunge forward and take us down one by one. Instead, the terrifying beast screams too. I expect the roar of a bear, the shrill yell of a rat, and somehow got both. A high-pitched cry that makes me flinch and try to cover my ears if it weren't for the helmet of my suit, and underneath a deep booming groan that I feel rattling in my bones. Instinctively, I take tentative steps backward, doubled over in pain as I watch that beast scream at us. But my focus is on Thomas. Our captain isn't screaming anymore. I can tell he's gritting his teeth to bear the pain of the overwhelming noise coming from the spot right above his head. There are tears slipping down his cheeks, and I could be wrong, but I think I see his ears starting to bleed. I'm still watching them when the monster finally quiets down, and then, a second later, and still holding Thomas against its torso, that thing turns around and sprints away. It takes a big leap, and I can't help but run in the same direction, desperate to save my captain and friend. Then I feel two pairs of arms holding me back from certain death. The monster had jumped down a steep and rocky cliff, and it was currently hurrying on 3 of its limbs to get to a cave. "Let me go!" I yell, struggling against the hold of my 2 remaining partners. "We have to go after him!" "Stop, Gerard! Use your head!" Isabel exclaims. "We can't go against the creature with our bare hands. We can't. But we can't leave him, right?" Natasha speaks up next. We have to. Oh my god." The young woman is just unable to process the magnitude of our predicament. She lets go of my arm and stumbles away from us back to the safety of the ship. There's a bit of silence between Isabel and me as we both consider our options. We are all more than partners on a mission. We have all worked together on different tasks before. We are friends, and this journey turned us into a family. But Isabel has always beat me at quick thinking when facing a challenge. Her next words send chills down my entire body. "Gerard, before you make a choice, I need you to be extremely aware of a few things. We do not stand a chance against that creature. We don't know if there are more like it, and we are in their territory, Gerard. This is their home, and we don't know more than what satellite scans show us. We're nothing, Gerard. For those things, we can be a meal. We can be a toy. We could be a sacrifice. If we go looking for our friends, nobody will do the same for us. We might as well be alone in the universe right now. Like it or not, Thomas might be dead already. Going after him is a suicide mission if I've ever seen one. But I know that you're not going to leave him. And I refuse to lose 2 members of my team today." When Isabel was done talking, I smile at her. I can feel my heart beating like it wants to burst out of my chest. I know we have never been this scared in our entire lives, but in a situation like this, having someone by your side just makes you feel invincible. "We have weapons on the ship," I remind her. "We don't even know if they would work on this planet," Isabel retorts. "Tell that to Natasha," I reply with a grin. Then, Isabel turns around and sees what I had been watching over her shoulder. Natasha had just pulled every weapon stored in the ship for emergencies, and she was currently aiming some type of gun at the horizon. We watch, holding our breath, as Natasha pulls the trigger of the gun. It works. I have a feeling the bullet travels at a slightly slower pace than on Earth, and Natasha visibly loses her balance at the unfamiliar recoil in this gravity. But, damn, it works. We take as many weapons and tools as we can carry, and we go on our way. It's the beginning of our suicide mission, and nothing could have prepared me for what was to come. We approached the edge of the cliff, where the extraterrestrial disappeared with Thomas, and we began our descent. It's steep. It should be manageable, but I can shake off my mind that one wrong step could lead us to our death. The greenish rocks tremble and come loose as we step on them. We grit our teeth, tense our muscles, and keep walking. At some point, Isabel steps on an unsteady rock and loses her footing. She screams with everything she has until Natasha catches her in her arms. "I don't want to die. I don't want to die," Isabel whispers again and again in a trembling voice. It's unsettling seeing firsthand the way high stakes manage to break down even the strongest of people. But then she blurts out, "I don't want any of us to die here." And that's it. She's back, with renewed strength and moving even faster than before. We check the radar on our portable communication device. It shows that Thomas is nearby, so we know which way to go. But it also shows him offline. He can't hear us. We can't hear him. Dead or alive, his suit has suffered a malfunction. Finally, we reach the entry to a large cave, like a tunnel big enough for a truck to pass by comfortably. Inside, the rock loses its green tint and everything turns gray. The cave is endless darkness, and it makes my hair stand on end, feeling like it's a creature even bigger than the one before, waiting for us with open jaws, and we're willingly walking into its hungry insides. Although our suits are equipped with lights on our shoulders to show us the way, the overwhelming darkness around us forces us to turn on individual flashlights that we have to hold along with our guns. Slowly but surely, we move forward. The cave gets darker. The space starts to narrow. And the worst part is the ramifications of the main tunnel. The sensors tell us that Thomas is somewhere ahead of us, so we stick to the main path and hope for the best. But it's almost impossible not to wonder what's hiding in those other routes. Some of the other tunnels are so small that our monster couldn't have passed through them. Could they have been carved out by a different creature? Ancient rocks destroyed by the sheer power of extraterrestrial teeth and claws? Through some tunnels, some currents of freezing or boiling hot air, so strong that the sensors in our suits go crazy and we have to walk faster before the temperature kills us. Then, there are the tunnels that feel alive. Have I lost my mind? I wonder. Maybe the fear has contaminated my brain, making me see things that aren't there. Tunnels that disappear. Openings on the walls of the cave that are there 1 second and completely covered the next. Tunnels that I swear move along with us. Holes that are breathing, yawning, making a trickery of us. Perhaps the worst one is the one Natasha spots before the rest of us. "Guys, don't look to your right," she says unexpectedly. Her words make me feel like there's ice flowing through my veins. And halfway through, she starts crying as she says, "Whatever you do, don't look. Please, trust me on this, if nothing else. You don't want this. If I tell you to run, do it. But I'm begging you not to look. Just don't look at it. Don't see them, please. Oh my God." When we're past that part of the tunnel, Isabel immediately turns around and takes Natasha in her arms. "Are you okay?" she asks repeatedly, but I fail to hear the other woman's answer. I'm distracted. In front of me, at the end of the tunnel, there's our Captain Thomas, my friend. But there's also a gigantic nest, and at least 2 of the monsters lying inside it. I feel like I'm in a daze as I approach the alien nest slowly. I can tell Thomas's helmet has cracked, and his suit is all dirty and torn in places. But the planet's atmosphere must be bearable for humans, since I can see his chest rise and fall rapidly. I'm not sure if... I have no idea if he will live to tell his tale, but he's still alive, and that's all I need to know. "Thomas! Hey, Tommy!" I whisper his name. My voice is trembling. It's like all at once the entire tunnel has gone quiet. The strange sounds, the footsteps, the whispers, the fluttering noises, the water dripping, everything coming from the dark corners have quieted down, and my words sound loud like thunder, but I keep going. "Tommy, come on, wake up, please. It's me. Can you hear me?" There are only a few feet separating me from Thomas now. The second I see his eyelids start to flutter as he finally opens his eyes again, I know for sure in my heart that this was the right thing to do. But our problems are far from over. A grumbling sound makes me raise my head and look up at what's standing above Thomas. The two extraterrestrials are standing on their hind legs, very awake now, staring me down and baring their teeth at me. They open their jaws. I can't stop looking at their black eyes. I'm afraid those soulless depths would be the last thing I'll see when I die. And then there's a shot. Twin bullets go right through the center of these monsters' heads. They fall back screaming and writhing in pain, but somehow still alive. I have no time to ponder about their anatomy. Only then it clicks in my mind that these two are smaller than the one that took Thomas. That can only mean that we hurt, hopefully killed, that monster's babies. Thomas is crawling towards me now, and I run forward to help him to his feet. He's in so much pain, but still in one piece. I take one of his arms over my shoulders, and we turn around. Isabel and Natasha are still holding their guns. They look as terrified as us, but the four of us are alive and together. So if anything, we're stronger now than we enter this tunnel for the first time. Get ready, I tell them. It's time to escape this planet and kill any aliens that stand in our way.